There's a lot of debate as to when exactly the Cold War began, but it's certain one thing helped cause it: the Iron Curtain. The Iron Curtain is a metaphor coined by Winston Churchill's speech in 1947 for the expansion of the Eastern Bloc. This bloc refers to the Eastern European countries that started turning communist. A lot of them didn't go by choice either, and many of them the country had been weakened or destroyed by the Nazis during World War II, which allowed the Red Army, who liberated them, to forcefully install communist governments. All the Baltic countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, were occupied by Soviet forces and then annexed to become Soviet states. In Ukraine, Stalin caused a famine in order to keep communists in power. Other places went communist more willingly through pseudo-elections. In Albania, for instance, they elected Enver Hoxha, a leader who made use of Stalinist methods such as destroying political enemies or anybody that threatened his power. The US was terrified of these actions and absolutely did not want communism to spread any further than it already did. So our president, Harry Truman, gave a speech at a college in the United States. In order to understand why he made this speech, you need to know that Greece was in a civil war between the Greek government and the Greek Communist Party. This made the country unstable. You also need to know that Turkey was being threatened by the Soviets because the Turkish government was letting other ships through the Turkish Straits, but not Soviet ships. The Turkish Straits is very important strategically from a military standpoint, because whoever controls it has access to everything that rests on the Black Sea. It was clear how both countries were in danger of becoming communist. This brings us back to President Truman's speech. He strongly urged Congress to allow $400 million in military and economic aid to go to these two countries so they could fight the Soviets in a policy that would later be known as containment. At the time, this meant stopping communism from spreading. Truman actually said that the United States needs to support free peoples who are resisting attempted subjugation by armed minorities or by outside pressures. His idea wasn't perfect, though. President Truman's policy of containment also led to troops in the Bay of Pigs, Korea, and Vietnam. While ultimately Greece and Turkey were both successful in repelling the communists, it wasn't so for Vietnam, Cuba, or North Korea. The Truman Doctrine and the United States policy of containment became the basis for NATO and the Marshall Plan. But those are different stories.